week on Fight Hard MMA. We're going to step outside the cage and introduce you to one of MMA's fastest rising talents, Fight Hard MMA 125-pound female phenom, Mighty Michelle Pierce. We're also going to introduce you to our all-new Throwback Throwdown segment, where we'll go back in time to January of 2013 and show you one of the most epic battles in MMA history. You don't want to miss it. And in the fight of the week, Jason Hunchofsky will go toe-to-toe with hard-hitting Mario Hudgens. And now, here are your hosts, Katy, Kruze, and Kenny Nowling. Welcome to an all-new Fight Hard MMA. Coming to you from the Johnny Londoff Studios, Kenny Nowling alongside Katy, Kruze.
Hello.
Fight Hard Nation, you will not believe what we've got coming up in this episode. In addition to everything else we've got going on, Katy, what I'm most excited
Huge
about?
Stuff. What is it?
Throwback Throwdown.
This was your idea. I got to hand this one to you for sure.
We're literally going back in time to January of 2013. Zach Freeman, the altar boy, our 155-pound champion, taking on Robert Washington. And again, one of the most epic battles you'll ever see. You step outside the cage with Michelle Pierce. Tell me a little bit about that, Katy.
I did. We got to spend some great time with Michelle over at the Academy of Courage, where I was watching her train, watching her physical rigors, all that stuff, all that she goes through. And deep down, I wanted to find out, really, Kenny, what the audience wants to know. What's it like to be a female in this male-dominated world / a profession like MMA? We got to the root of it. You'll be surprised.
Well, and Mighty Michelle Pierce certainly knows all about the word domination. Before we go to break, Fight Hard Nation, it's time for this week's Hot Shots of the Week.
Hello, St. Louis. This is John Londoff Jr. For 75 years, my family has been a leader in the automotive industry. And I know over the years, I've sold many of you a vehicle or two. I want to personally invite you to come visit either in person or 24/7 at Londoff.com. My prices can't be beat. My customer service is #1. Truck month at Johnny Londoff Chevrolet. Up to $11,000 off Silverados, $6,000 off Equinox. Are you kidding me? Come in today and experience the Londoff difference.
Johnny Londoff Chevrolet.
Get your St. Louis MMA fix at knucklejunkies.com.
Hi everybody, I'm the Fight Hard MMA lightweight champion, Zach the Altar Boy Freeman. I'm here to tell you about knucklejunkies.com and how it's the Midwest's premier MMA website. It has photos, video interviews, it has pre-fight stories and fight coverage. Check it out. knucklejunkies.com.
This episode of Fight Hard MMA is being brought to you by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and by wickedstickers.com. Welcome back, Fight Hard Nation, as we get set for the fight of the week from the Family Arena just outside of St. Louis, Missouri. Once again, my name's Kenny Nowling alongside my colleague and UFC veteran Steve Berger. Steve, this should be a great light heavyweight matchup between Jason Hunchofsky in the blue corner and Mario Hudgens in the red corner. Both of these guys have extremely heavy hands.
Looking forward to this. It's always nice when you get two sluggers going at it.
And these guys, much like the Tejada-James fight, a lot of talking going on. As a matter of fact, some pushing and shoving at weigh-ins. because these guys were very heated and very in each other's face, even backstage during the fighter walkthroughs and during the fighter meeting with the commission. So Hudgens, Hunchowski.
That's all well and good, but it's not until you get inside the cage that it's decided.
No doubt about it. Referee Josh Stewart will give them their final instructions. They'll touch them up and come out for this light heavyweight, the 205-pound division here in Fight Hard MMA. Jason Hunchowski in the blue corner wearing the blue gloves, going to take on hard-hitting Mario Hudgens in the red corner wearing the red gloves. Here we go, and they come out swinging from the get. Nice leg kick, a nice outside leg kick by Hunchowski. Both these guys trying to measure each other up and feel each other out, Steve.
Both guys have come out throwing punches from left field. Both have landed. Neither one's really done any damage. Now, as I say that, it looks like Hudgens is landing the better.
He's throwing some big bombs,
Absolutely.
And now Hunchowski's going to start. Oh, and he takes a vicious knee and another vicious knee.
What the heck happened there?
Down goes Hudgens, and I think that's it. It is.
Holy cow! Wow, they talk about turning the tables with one punch.
You can
look at the
see
blood.
that he got opened up, did Hunchowski. But man, oh man, just as Hudgens started to throw bombs and threw a couple of fantastic knees,
Kenny, I got to be honest.
Throws the bomb and literally knocks him out. I mean, he was out on his feet, Steve Berger.
I got to be honest. I thought that Hudgens was about to win that fight there, and the next thing I know, Hunchowski just throws a big bomb, and boom, down goes Hudgens.
For the boxing aficionados out there, that takes us back to the George Foreman-Michael Moorer fight when Moorer was dominating the fight. And Big George, yeah, I remember too. This announcer jumped all the way off his father's couch and about put a hole in the ceiling with this big head. So Mario Hudgens is going to come up on the short end of the stick in this one. I mean, a vicious, vicious onslaught of punches. We're going to take a look at it again here on the replay, and you can see a knee, another knee, and it looks like Hudgens is throwing bombs at this point. Hunchowski steps to his left. Here we go again. Look at it, Steve Berger.
Holy cow, here it is. He went in for the shot.
Didn't get it.
Hudgens did a good job defending it. He came back.
Oh, that left right there opened him up, no doubt about it. Here you'll see Hudgens swinging. He'll throw a couple of vicious knees and then bam!
Boom! There we go. Down goes Hudgens.
There goes the boom on the left hand of Jason Hunchowski. What a fight.
That's what happens. You get two heavy hitters in there, and that's it. It can change on a dime, just like that.
Just like that. And Jason Hunchowski will be your winner. Mario Hudgens didn't get it done tonight, but you can bet he'll be back in the Fight Hard MMA cage real soon.
I'm Dr. Kristen with Dynamic Life Chiropractic. I'm family focused. I keep bodies healthy at any age. You've got to keep your body in fighting shape. Chances are you don't stand in the middle of a ring facing down the competition, but your body is working every day to fight off everything coming at it. Transform your life with exercise, nutrition, and chiropractic care. Located in Lake St. Louis, call me today, Dr. Kristen at Dynamic Life Chiropractic.
Hello, St. Louis. This is John Londop Jr. For 75 years, my family has been a leader in the automotive industry. And I know over the years, I've sold many of you a vehicle or two. I want to personally invite you to come visit either in person or 24/7 at Londop.com. My prices can't be beat. My customer service is number one.
Truck month at Johnny Londoff Chevrolet, up to $11,000 off Silverados, $6,000 off Equinox.
Are you kidding me? Come in today and experience the Londoff difference.
Johnny Londoff Chevrolet.
This episode of Fight Hard MMA is being brought to you by Gateway Vapors St. Charles and by Auto Pro Collision Repair. Welcome back to Fight Hard MMA. I'm Kenny Nowling alongside Katy Kruze. Katy, it's time to step outside the cage
It is.
for your weekly journey out into the MMA world. This week, you head out to the Academy of Courage and talk to mighty Michelle Pierce, who's going to be fighting for the title soon.
So excited about this one, Kenny. We've known Michelle. We've seen her fight. I wanted to kind of get in the head and the heart and the soul of these women that step in the cage, that step in the gym, that step in their workplace. What is this like to be that girl in that skin in this world? We're about ready to find out. This week, we step outside the cage and back inside the Academy of Courage, where I had the opportunity to sit down with one of Fight Hard MMA's female gladiators, mighty Michelle Pierce. Of all the questions that I asked Michelle, perhaps the one that Fight Hard Nation wants answered most is, what is it like to be a female in the male-dominated sport of MMA?
Wow, that's a loaded question because there are so many benefits. I have grown and worked in a male-dominated world as well, being an arborist and in the horticulture profession, and so coming here then and again in the evening and being again the only female, it's tough. It's very tough coming into the gym every night and training with guys that are stronger than you, that are sweatier than you. It's hard, but at the same time, there's so many benefits to it. Like when I do submit a guy, or I can see them struggling, sparring. That confidence that builds inside that night can carry over into work. It carries over to walking down an alley downtown by myself. I mean, there's so many benefits to it. And confidence probably is the number one thing.
What drove you to do something like MMA? I mean, where did you get motivation or inspiration to even jump into this?
I've always wanted to train martial arts, just watching movies growing up. But I enrolled my son in Taekwondo, and shortly thereafter I did a women's self-defense class, and I loved it. I loved the challenge of it, and I wanted to learn more. And so I enrolled in a Naga competition, and I realized that there were so many things I needed to learn, and so I haven't stopped. I've gone every night since then, and here we are.
And you keep on keeping on, and you're working your way to the big title stuff, right? Like, what's next for you? What do you hope is next for you, right?
Right. Really, I just take it a day at a time. I don't compete to have the belt or to become professional or to see myself in UFC like a lot of MMA fighters do. I really do it for personal growth. And so whatever comes next is just kind of happenstance, I suppose.
Well, I tell you what, it's awesome to watch you in the cage. It's even better to know you as a person. Michelle, thanks for your time today.
Thank you.
This episode of Fight Hard MMA is being brought to you by Burns Law Firm and by Complete Supplements. Welcome back to Fight Hard MMA, and the time has finally arrived. Throwdown. We're going to take you back in time to the first ever Fight Hard MMA title fight in January of 2013. One of the combatants in that epic battle is joining us here live, Zach Freeman, the altar boy, who took on Robert Washington in one of the most memorable fights, not just in Fight Hard MMA history, but in MMA history, period. The KnuckleJunkies.com voted by the fans the 2013 Fight of the Year in all of St. Louis MMA. And there's a lot of great promotions in St. Louis, as we know. And so going into that fight, what is your mindset? It was absolutely the biggest MMA fight in St. Louis history. The anticipation leading up to that fight was, it was at a fevered pitch for weeks leading up to that fight. And the fact that you and Robert were close friends outside the cage and former training partners, you had to have all kinds of stuff going through your head.
Yeah, it definitely made it interesting that we not only trained together, but we're also kind of on rival teams.
Right.
So it was just kind of, it was kind of hard at first, but we both decided to step up. It was a great opportunity, and both see who comes out that night the best.
So for the weeks leading up to that battle, the guys in the gym giving you a little extra added pressure, maybe pushing you on a little bit?
Well, it was just one of those things that I think my teammates were confident in me, but they also knew how good of a fighter Rob was. So it was just one of those things that, you know, we both just put everything aside and wanted to entertain the fans. And you put on a great venue, and we were there to put on a great fight. So.
Well, and that they did. And with that, I'm going to head back out cage side to January of 2013 for the Throwback Throwdown. The cage door closes. Let's take a trip back in time to January of 2013. One of the most talked about fights in Fight Hard MMA history. The altar boys, Zach Freeman in the red gloves and white trunks, taking on the beast, Robert Washington, in the blue gloves with the camo and black trunks. Neither one of these two have an ounce of quit in them. This was one of the most epic battles that we ever witnessed in Fight Hard MMA. Kind of feeling each other out here in the early stages. Oh, and Freeman with an inadvertent kick to the groin. Washington collects himself. We jump ahead just a little bit in the fight, and they are back at it. I can remember this night like it was yesterday, and you can hear the crowd react to every single thing that these two guys do. You're going to hear that through this entire fight. Ooh, a good overhand right by Washington. Washington certainly would have to be the better striker of the two. Freeman a bit stronger in the grappling area. Of course, he's out of St. Charles MMA, and we all know they're one of the top MMA gyms in the country, especially when it comes to grappling and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Freeman out of Finney's Hit Squad, long known for their striking ability. So a great matchup here back in January of 2013. Washington and Freeman with one of those vicious knees, his trademark knees, where he grabs his opponent by the back of the head and lifts that knee right into their chest or their chin. A couple of more from Freeman as he goes down, and Robert Washington right now has got his hands full. I remember thinking in the weeks leading up to this fight, it's a shame there's got to be a winner and a loser, because reality says Zach Freeman and Robert Washington, neither one of these guys deserve to lose this fight. A takedown by Freeman. The crowd erupts once again. Sitting cage side this night, one of the most memorable evenings of my entire MMA career. The crowd was so into this fight, and it was at such a fevered pitch from the first bell until the last bell. You hear the crowd starting to chant Freeman. Of course, the family arena located just west of St. Louis in St. Charles, Missouri. Zach Freeman's hometown, Robert Washington from nearby East St. Louis. And as I said earlier, he trains at Finney's Hit Squad. And there you see one of those vicious overhand rights from Washington, and Freeman back on the attack. See the crowd in the background going completely crazy. It was so loud at times you literally could not hear the person next to you. What a memorable evening this was back in January of 2013. Referee Mike England intently looking on as these two gladiators continue to punish each other. What must be going through Washington's mind every time Freeman comes in with one of those knees? Now Freeman trying to work some of that jiu-jitsu magic that he gets over at St. Charles MMA under the tutelage of his trainer, Mike Rogers, a Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt. Freeman trying to lock in the triangle. Robert Washington right now getting some much-needed rest. One of the strongest competitors in all of the lightweight division is Robert Washington. Freeman continues to do his work on the ground. Washington collecting himself. And some huge elbows from Freeman. You see Washington reaching up as the round draws to a close. How's that for an exciting first round, Fight Hard Nation? We jump ahead to round number 2, and Zach Freeman out of the gate quick with a takedown of Robert Washington. Oh, and he sets up another one of those vicious knees. Washington trying to get out of this precarious position he found himself in all too often during the course of this fight. But as the fight goes on, fans, you will see that Zach Freeman, is physically talented as he is up against quite a competitor in Robert Washington. Washington covers up some big, heavy shots from Zach Freeman. You wonder where he got the nickname, the Altar Boy, because there is nothing calm and quiet about this guy when he's inside the cage. No wonder at all why the Beast, Robert Washington, got his nickname, the Beast. He is every bit of that. A huge right uppercut right on the button for Washington. Back and forth this thing goes all night long. Once again, as they go to the ground, Freeman just throwing the big bombs. Washington doing everything he can. Considerable damage over the left eye of Washington, and the crowd reacting again. This heavily weighted Freeman crowd reacting to everything the Altar Boy does. Just under a half a minute left to go in round number one, and a huge takedown. And again, look at the response from the crowd. Even the officials at cage side having quite the time. My young son Joey there in the background with the orange sweatshirt and the white hat. Look at the damage over both of these guys' left eyes from those great big right hands. An exciting round number 3 kicks off. You see yours truly taking his seat in the background there. Freeman shoots in and another big takedown. Big fists, big elbows. Robert Washington trying to withstand this onslaught that Freeman just brought at him from the time the opening bell rang, and hasn't let up since. Washington at this point still absorbing those elbows, but there isn't an ounce of quit in this young man. His future in MMA is as bright as can be. The Beast Robert Washington right now, though, obviously has his hands full with the Altar Boy, Zach Freeman. Freeman continue to work from side mount as he works those elbows. Washington trying everything he can to use just brute raw strength and get up, and he almost pulls it off. These two are both physically as fit as anybody in all of mixed martial arts in this weight division, or in any weight division for that matter. Sculpted like they were chiseled out of iron. Everybody cage side looking on intently. We slide inside the 2-minute mark. These two gladiators continue to push forward, not showing many signs of exhaustion almost 14 minutes in. Big overhand right lands for Robert Washington. Freeman not backing up, though. He continues to push forward. Nice left hook by Robert Washington. That's why they call him the Beast. One of the most talked about aspects of this fight leading up to it and the day of, and now today still, was the fact that these two were fighting out of rival gyms. These gyms are the definition of a sports rivalry. Finney's Hit Squad and St. Charles MMA. Of course, Jesse Finney, the owner of Finney's Hit Squad, and Mike Rogers, the owner of St. Charles MMA, have a long-standing history. They have They're battling, and now look at the wounds that have opened up above Freeman's eye and Washington's eye. As we approach 30 seconds to go in this bout, you got to wonder what goes through one of these fighters' minds when they continue to take punishment and charge forward when they've got that kind of damage already done. Freeman looking for one more takedown. And boy, does he get it, and listen to the crowd react. What a battle, and what a way to close it out. Freeman lifts his hands in the air. Listen to this crowd of 10,600 plus that filed into the family arena for this bout. You see Zach squinting those eyes right before it was announced, and yours truly, in one of his proudest moments, putting the hardware around the waist of the new champion, Zach Freeman. Did I tell you? Did I overhype it? I don't think I hyped it enough.
No, whatever.
That was some kind of throwback, throwdown. Zach Freeman, taking a look back at it now, here almost a year and a half, a little over a year and a half removed from it. I'm watching you watch that fight, and you still cringe when some of those shots were landing. Phenomenal performance by you and by Robert, and certainly the reason why it was voted Fight of the Year by the fans.
Well, you know, there's one thing, too, I want to go with, is if you look at the end of the video, I feel like he was out when I slammed him. So I don't know, maybe the viewers can tell us what they feel like, you know?
You know, it's a point that's been hotly debated within the St. Louis MMA community. Zach, as always, champ, thanks for being here. Looking forward to having Zach back. And if we do have you back in the Fight Hard cage to defend this title, and we will at some point, give me the one guy above everyone else that you want to take on.
I'm going to leave that to my boss.
Leave it to the boss. Well, I'm going to put my vote in for Too Strong, Lucas Kowaltney. For Katy, Kruze, Steve Berger, the champ, Zach Freeman, I'm Kenny Nowling, Fight Hard Nation. We'll be right back here 7 days from now for more Fight Hard MMA. And remember, if you don't tap, it might snap. This has been a presentation of Fight Hard MMA in conjunction with Above the Dogs Media. To learn more about Fight Hard MMA, visit our website at fighthardmma.com or find us all over social media. Any rebroadcast or reproduction without the express written consent of Fight Hard MMA LLC is strictly prohibited.